Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Hurmat from connecting from Lahore, Pakistan, and I have Saif Ali from Karachi. Um, welcome to sixth session of Book Clubs Across Borders. Unfortunately, we don't have students from. We're not going to have students from Sargodha live with us, and sadly, we also don't have videos from their end because they're having their exams and they're really stuck in that crunch time. We'll be talking to you guys today, and we have really two good books with us to discuss. One is I Am Malala, and second is Iqbal. And both of these books are really amazing, and they are about two young people from Pakistan and their struggles and how they change things for the world. So, without further ado, let's start our session. Um, we can have it in two ways. Either we can start by discussing one book, and then in the second half, we can discuss the other book, or we can discuss both of these books at the same time by drawing a comparison. So, it can be like a comparative study, a comparative conversation on both of these books. How would you guys like to go about it? Would you like to discuss the two books separately, or would you like to discuss them in a comparison?
They were saying that they were going to discuss about the books separately.
Separately? All right. Let's begin with, I think we can start with I Am Malala. Any one of you would like to come up and talk about this book? Maybe give us a summary, and if you would like this book, why did you like this book? And it's a very inspirational book, and it really motivates you to change things for the better and work for education, get education. So I would really like to know your guys' input on this book.
We have a hero.
In the name of Allah, my name is Dawood Haidari. I'm going to speak about Malala book. Malala, the girl who born in a society that the women's and girls' rights wasn't changed or noticed in this society. But Malala was a lucky girl who born in a family that her family was a good and educated family. And from Malala was a person. Malala family was a family that they were educated. Especially her father. He was a good teacher, and we can say Malala has worked in a school and he grew in a school. So what in my idea, what made Malala a famous and successful girl could be two things: her ideology, and we can say her ideology comes from two sources. One is her father, and the second or the books. When we have when one person had a educated family, for example, her father was an educated, so he were a good teacher for his daughter, and he tried to grow Malala educated and a person who don't accept the violence, the training, and and also when he chose a name for her, he chose a name from hero and brave girl by the name of stood up against the enemy attack and encourage people to encourage people to stood up against the people and stand against the training. So by choosing the name of Malala, he also tried to grow her a very brave and educated person. So it helped Malala to improve and become a successful person and famous around the world. and he succeeded to stood up against the Taliban and defense from her rights. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your input. Anyone else from your side who would like to talk about I Am Malala? And I would really love to know how this book um, inspired you to change things around you. Let's talk more about that. I would love to hear from the girls.
Ladies are first.
Yay, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. What I have learned from this book was um Malala was a girl which stood up against we can say, to change the community, to change what was wrong in their community. And yeah, she faced many problems while she was just, what do we call that? Defending her rights. And what I really like about this book, actually, I don't like motivational speeches or motivational books, but this book was somehow different. I mean, the bravery which this book, we can say, showed up. I was thinking about that. If was past in the past time, I mean, while in the years which while I was living at that years, could I show that much bravery, and could I do what she has done? And I realized that, damn, that is so hard to be that much brave in that situation, to stand up, to defend your rights, to just raise your voice against Taliban, and to just face such problems which she faced. And I like to talk about the other book as well, which was Iqbal. There were some, what do you call that, uh, connection between these two books. In that book also, there was a boy which stood up to defend his right, and he was the one who became the role model of it, other people who were around. These books gave us two good lessons and teaches us, which was bravery, to be brave, and not to be quiet while someone is doing something wrong toward you, or while someone is doing wrong toward other people. You just need to stand up. You might be the first one, but you will not be the last one. And that was the whole thing I
Uh,
just learned.
thank you, thank you so much for your words. I would really like to ask you that why don't you like motivational books? Personally, I also don't like self-help motivational books, but I would really love to know your answer.
Like when you listen to something, or when you listen to someone, or when you read some books, your goal is to learn something. I mean, your goal is to just get out something which is useful for you. But when I listen to motivational, it's exaggeration. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I cannot accept it.
Yeah, I totally get your point, because when I also used to read motivational books or self-help books, I really didn't, get something out of it. I used to think that maybe they had different circumstances, they don't know what I'm going through, and they can't really tell me how to live my life because they don't know what I'm going through. But while reading I Am Malala and while reading Iqbal, I think both of these books were still a bit close to my heart, or because they are from my country. And when I was growing up, I saw the whole situation that happened with Malala live on TV. And it also affected me as well, because I was also a younger at that time. That happened in 2012. She's of course younger than me, and she is a Nobel laureate. And when I was going through the news and this was all happening, it also affected me as well, because I was in college and I was seeing that a girl was shot by the Taliban because she was going to school. So it also put me in that place that what will happen to me? What will happen to the girls and women around me? So I think it still was somehow relevant to me. And Iqbal is also um, a great story of bravery. But I think I was asking for us to, draw a comparison between them, because Iqbal's story ends with him being dead, and Malala's story is still happening, and we are seeing her grow, and she is helping the people around us. So if we draw a bit of comparison between both of these books, so I think you can see Iqbal's story happened during 1990s, which was like 30 years ago, and Malala's story started, or it happened when she was shot by the Taliban during it was 2012, somewhere, 20 years after what happened to Iqbal. So we can see that when Iqbal was going through something like that, he still found support, but he had to start by himself. He didn't have support from his parents, he didn't have support from his community. He had to start everything from the roots, from the ground. He had to lay down the groundwork. But in case of Malala, she had, a pushback, a resistance from the society, but at least her parents were by her side. Her father supported her. If you watch videos by her father, if you watch a TED talk by her father, he says is that I didn't clip her wings. I let her fly. I supported her in everything. That's why she was able to come up, come over all that she had lost. Even though the attack that she was attacked by the Taliban and she had to go through a surgery, and we all were, holding our breaths, and we were praying that that her life is saved and she survives through this incident. And luckily, and thank God that she did. And now she has become an icon, and people look up to her. So I think by comparing both of these stories, they are inspired from, they are real life stories. We can see that things are changing. Even though it has taken a lot of time, it has taken more than a decade to change things, but things have changed now. So thank you so much for your input. Anyone else from your side who would like to come up and talk about both of these books, or maybe one book at a time? I do remember some really, exciting faces from Herat. I can see Yasin. I remember your name. And I can see a couple of other people who love to talk. So please come forward and talk about both of these brilliant books.
Hello.
Hello, hi, assalamu alaikum.
I want to speak about the Paul book because I couldn't read Malolei. And the Paul book was about a kid who was brave, and he stand up in front of his master. I cannot do anything. I cannot stand in front of any guy and tell him I don't do this for you. And I think Iqbal was so brave, and he was such a great guy to do this. I learned one thing from him, that Iqbal, we should all be like Iqbal. We should not sort
Apparent.
we should not accept
Appears like.
we should not accept appears for us, and we should stand up in front of some apparently people. And I have a question. It was about kids should work in Pakistan. Is this problem still being in Pakistan or not? It's removed.
So thank you so much for your question, Yasin. So what I know is that child labor is still very prominent in Pakistan, especially in the rural areas. And the way Iqbal's story was depicted, it's very close to reality. And currently, there are many organizations, there are many lawyers and activists who are speaking up against it. The the Human Rights Commission in Pakistan is speaking up against it, and they are talking about stopping child labor because it takes away the childhood from a child. It doesn't let children go to school, and there's no hope for their future. And when you were reading Iqbal's story, you would have realized that the children who were working for that carpet weaver, for that carpet seller, they didn't even know that there is any other future for them or there is any other reality for them. They thought that this is their life. When Iqbal came into their life, and the, the story is written from this another girl's point of view, called her name is Fatma. And Fatma sees that this new boy comes into their circle, and he is a great carpet weaver, and he weaves this really beautiful carpet. But right when the buyer is about to come, he slashes that carpet. So I would really like to talk about that moment. That what does that moment depict? Why did Iqbal slash that carpet, even though he worked really hard on it and it was a really beautiful carpet? What do you think that action symbolizes? What does that mean?
I think it follows that there is another future. There are lots of things to do. He should not work hard, and he was thinking about freedom from that tribal place. And I think Iqbal was
Hat.
have did have done the best job in India. Uh, I was working for some people, and I think I cannot do anything. I I cannot.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so Thank you so much for your input. Anyone else who would like to come up and talk about Iqbal and his story? And
Something more, guys, I want to say a few things. These guys have had their exams in the school because of that they couldn't study the multiple books,
mhm.
and if they couldn't speak or they couldn't give more information about the books, we are going to apologize. That because of the final exams, and also some of them they are taking we can say complete preparation because of that they couldn't study the whole two books.
So
That's it.
you guys were not able to read both of these books?
We were able to read the whole two books, but we had final exams in school. Because of that, we have had to study on those subjects. Because of that, we couldn't study the book.
I'm still asking you guys, were you able to read, if any one of you who was able to read a bit of any of these two books? If you have read a few chapters from I Am Malala or a few chapters from Iqbal, we can still talk about it because these books, they talk about very broad themes. So yeah, anyone who would like to come up and talk about whatever they have read? Yeah, I can see raised hands. Please come forward.
We have lots of theories here, but they are, we can say, embarrassed.
That's okay. We can still make conversation.
Maybe. In the name of God, I am Hamid Amiri. I want to speak about Malala. As the other my friends speaks about Malala books and they talks something about Malala, but I don't want to talk more about it. Essentially about that books that I noticed. That I noticed. I want to start with two questions. The first, what was the reason that the Taliban can succeed to take the Swat Valley? I want to. Another question is how Malala can stand up against the Taliban. Against these problems. I want to answer these two questions step by step, okay? And we will come in the first questions. I think the main reason, or one of the reasons that the Taliban was succeed to take the SWAT village is they try to use they want to they at first they come in the village and they speak about Islam, speak about good things. They made some rules and they related to Holy Quran. And then they do something according to Islam rules. But after that, they made their the other things that the Taliban do, they try to put the people in ignorance. That they was be success in that one. At first they destroyed, they burned the schools, and also they burned the television, the newspaper. They closed the newspaper, and also some station that they publish the news. Girls to go, avoided to the girls to go to the schools. So by that, as we read it in in an event that the Taliban burned about 1,400 schools in a few days, and it was trouble, and it was very hard. So by this, they able to, they were success to attack the SWAT. And the reason that the Malala was stand up against the Taliban, against the ignorance, is that at the first, when she born in Pakistan, when she born in about he loves their books, their books. So the only thing that she she try to she tried to okay, the next one. The next one that she will be able to do to stand up against the Taliban is information. Her information about the women rights, about the rights, the people rights. She was an educated person. She knows about her rights. So she stand up against and she recognized the right things from the from false things. So it was the reason that she was stand up against the ignorance. Maybe.
Thank you so much for your input. I remember there was another person who was raising their hand who would like to come forward. Please, please come forward and give us your opinion on any of these books.
Who was he or she? Can you show us?
Yeah, I think it was a girl at the back. She raised her hand when before this gentleman came forward. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Bifwan. Both of them, this book have a lesson for all of us that we like Iqbal and Malala. If we see the history of both of them, they try that to learn us that relate is not always the good way the good way. The history of Malala, the girl or that gave Nobel Prize when she was 20 years. uh, in one part of her book wrote that our book, our pen, they are strong weapons that change the all of world. We should open the way of education for all of them, and girls should be always stronger more than the past, and always and be uh, and be better than the past. Or the student Bob. The children that he's one of the 8 children that can change the life of many person because he freed many children in this year. If we compare together, we know that a few percent can be like them. Uh, in Pakistan, some people don't like Malala because they say Malala was a person that want to promote the secular way. Or he's not Muslim, or say that he was one of the person she was one of the person that wants open the way of in the Pakistan. Now in Pakistan, many people don't like Malala. So it is not important that they don't like or some of them don't like Malala. It is important that Malala is a person or is a girl that can change the life of many girls or can stand up when Taliban wants to kill her. She knows that her father one day will kill because of her, but he never give up. Never give up because of this issue that people say for her. So it is not easy for a girl or for a person that people say for her something. But she was, I think, she was strong more than the person that live in this world, and more than more than the okay, something like that. At the end, I want to say that both of them say for us that if something is wrong, if something is not good for us, we should stand up and don't fear because of this that one day I will kill they are not important. It is important that we do something that it is good for our world and can change the world of person.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your amazing words. Uh, so I have a question for all of you. Both of our countries have been affected by the Taliban. Afghanistan has been affected by the Taliban more, as you guys mentioned this before, that they have destroyed schools, they have not let children go to school, especially they don't want women go to school. So, and we have seen that in the bordering region between Pakistan and Afghanistan as well. We are still struggling with this, from against the Taliban in our tribal areas, and Swat Valley had been affected massively by the Taliban. So my question is, why do you think that the Taliban or such extremist groups are very against education? Why is that? What do you guys think about that? Yeah, please come forward.
In the name of Allah, in my idea, the main reason that try to stand up against the education is the political hand behind that. Some countries that don't want that the one country don't improve. They try to keep them in ignorance and try to keep it ignorance and don't want that this country improve. And in my idea, the main reason is the that's and they don't want from improvement of, for example, Afghanistan or Pakistan or somewhere else.
Thank you so much for your answer. Anyone else who would like to come up and share their thoughts on this? So I would like to add on to this that a friend who was sitting in the front, he raised this point earlier that when the Taliban took over your country, they came with the message of spreading Islam, that they are here to impose the rules of Islam. But the thing that is very ironic, and it makes me I was just thinking about that it's very strange that even Islam's first message, the first revelation that came upon on our holy prophet, peace be upon him, was Ikra, which means read. You know, so Islam asks you to get education. Islam asks you, your religion asks you to read. And in one of the surahs of the Quran, it is to research. It's very imposed upon us that whenever we come to know about something, we should research on it, right? So it's very ironic to say that when Taliban, they want to impose Islam, but then again on the other end they don't want people to get education. So again, my question, that why do you think they don't want us for children, for men and for girls and for boys to get education? One of our friends gave a really good answer that they don't want their country to improve. So why do you think they don't want the country to improve? Everyone wants to get things better. Everyone wants their economy to improve. Everyone wants their country to flourish. Why is that mentality of Taliban? Why is that so?
By the name of Allah, my name is Umid, and I introduced myself before. I think the Taliban are just a group of poor and no, don't you? Ignorance people which got money from another country's organization to show that Islam and its culture is about happiness, about culture. The men, every boys and girls have to or must study and get education to prove his country. Islam say you have to prove your country. It's the way. But the Taliban just a group of people which was poor in some villages, and some of others told them that Islam is this. You should have to get away the girls from the education because they don't have rights for education. I think it's another organization from another countries to pay them money for something good like this and show Islam like a bad. True Islam isn't it? I think.
Thank you so much for your answer. Anyone else who would like to share their thoughts? Yeah, please come forward.
In the name of Allah, my name is Safa. I want to talk about this question that you asked. The Taliban, the definition of Taliban that they know about Islam is wrong, and they because the country all of women ignore in all of us. And the man always work, and they think that they think that woman cannot study, the woman cannot improve in this aspect. And the Taliban don't want because they want to improve in our idea, and this it's wrong, and it's wrong in all of aspects that we see.
Thank you so much for your input.
I want to answer too. So I think Taliban knows that when the people be ignored, they don't know, they can get control of them, and of course they don't let people to study. If the people study, they know about the war, they know about lots of amazing things, and Taliban cannot control people. That's why Taliban don't let the people to study.
Thank you so much for your answer. And I was thinking exactly on the same lines that I will not just talk about the Taliban, but all of these extremist groups who want to control the country. And unfortunately, they take support from the religion. and they know that people will follow their religion, and we are Muslims and we really follow Islam, but they try to project the kind of Islam that is in their favor, which is wrong on so many levels. That even though we know that Islam asks you to get education, your religion asks you to do research and don't believe anything which is just told, which is you're just being told. Your religion asks you to do research, to study more, to learn more. But on the other hand, these extremist groups like the Taliban, they don't let you get education because they know that when you get educated, you know your rights, you know what is right and wrong, and then you can question them, and then you can raise your voices, and then you can ask them that no, what you are saying is wrong. And that's how a revolution happens. That's how things change. So that's why their first step is to destroy schools, is to destroy places, is to destroy libraries. Even when you would have read the bookseller of Kabul, in which this the protagonist Sultan Khan, he is trying to save books, even though he's not really getting any sort of change in his mentality out of it, but he is still trying to save books to preserve his culture. And that's what the Taliban were doing. They were destroying books, they were destroying libraries, they were destroying institutions which were upholding your country's culture and traditions, and they just want to wipe it out so they can start everything anew from their point of view. So thank you so much for your input on this very exciting conversation. I would like to share a video which is Malala's Nobel Prize acceptance speech, and I'm going to share my screen, and please let me know if you guys are able to see it and if you are able to hear it as well. um, can you guys see it?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Let me know if you can hear it as well.
I'm proud, but in fact, I'm very proud.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it. We have the sound.
All right, I'm going to play it.
I'm proud, but in fact, I'm very proud to be the first Pashtun, the first Pakistani, and the youngest person to receive this award. Along with that, I'm pretty certain that I'm also the first recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize who still fights with her younger brothers. I want there to be peace everywhere, but my brothers and I are still working on that. I'm also honored to receive this award together with Kailash Satyarthi, who has been a champion for children's rights for a long time, twice as long, in fact, than I have been alive. I'm proud that we can work together. We can work together and show the world that an Indian and a Pakistani, they can work together and achieve their goals of children's rights. Dear brothers and sisters, I was named after the inspirational Malala of Maiwand, who is the Pashtun Joan of Arc. The word Malala means grief-stricken, sad. But in order to lend some happiness to it, my grandfather would always call me Malala, the happiest girl in the world. And today, I'm very happy that we are together fighting for an important cause. This award is not just for me. It is for those forgotten children who want education. It is for those frightened children who want peace. It is for those voiceless children who want change. I'm here to stand up for their rights, to raise their voice. It is not time to pity them. It is not time to pity them. It is time to take action. So it becomes the last time. The last time. So it becomes the last time that we see a child deprived of education. I have found that people describe me in many different ways. Some people call me the girl who was shot by the Taliban, and some the girl who fought for her rights. Some people call me a Nobel laureate now. However, my brothers still call me that annoying bossy sister. As far as I know, I'm just a committed and even stubborn person who wants to see every child getting quality education, who wants to see women having equal rights, and who wants peace in every corner of the world.
All right. So you guys seen Malala Yousafzai's Nobel Prize acceptance speech. Any thoughts on that? Any comments of you guys on that video? Did you guys see this video before? Or was it the first time you guys were watching it?
Website, we are watching it, and we are all proud that we are our countries are our neighbor, and we got some common culture, common religion, and we are also proud to Malala that she's the first woman that could get the Nobel Prize. Thank you. And she was great.
Thank you so much for that. So I have a question for you guys. I know that we have only got 10 minutes left. So my question is that Malala Yousafzai is doing amazing work on equal rights and on education, and she has her own organization called Malala Fund, where she is supporting all these small organizations who are working for girls' education, who are working for education for all. So and it's a massive work. But I want to ask you guys that on your level, that we as individuals, you guys are getting education, and I am an educated person, thankfully, thank God. So on an individual level, on a personal level, what we can do to contribute to this cause? How can we bring change in our society as a person? Ideally, I would love to know from everyone. So I think we can all start. Anyone who would like to start first? It can be anything. It can be as small as gifting someone a book.
Individually, we should all study. And I think if you want to change a country, change the people of country, and make a good country, the people should know about, should educate. And you can see lots of the other countries, lots of improving countries, all of the people educate. And we should individually, myself, I should study hard to make my country proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
So I think it is my turn to speak about somehow a little bit about this question.
Please, please. Rest of you, please be ready with your answer because I would love to hear from everyone, from all of you.
Okay, there already. Don't worry. About the
Can you
question
please
that you
speak a
asked
bit
before,
loudly?
okay, I'm going to speak about loudly. The question that you asked before, I had my idea, my answers about that, the things that we have learned before, the things that we're going to learn in the future. We learned something about the human rights, about discrimination, about education, about the religious comments, lots of things we have learned. And now we see the result of that. And now we can do anything, we can bring some changes in our culture, in our society, in our community, exactly. The things that we learn that just causes that we should implement them, we should put it in our action, not by saying we cannot bring any changes in our life, but by saying we can change the small and tiny things by the things that we should put it in our action. We should implement them in our daily life. And that was it finally. If we have learned, if we have something in our mind, if we learn something about the education, about the rights, about the human rights, about things that we are going to face in the future, that we faced in the past, we should implement them. We should, how we can say, should put it in our action. That was it.
Thank you so much. Please, you were going to come and answer, please.
About your question, we cannot change people. We are not the ones who is going to change people, how they think, how they react. If we want to bring any change to our community, we have to change ourselves. We have to change the way we are thinking. We have to change this mentality of the human beings, like we are separating them into genders, male and female, men and women. We are all human beings and we have the same rights. So if we keep this mentality, of course, we can bring the biggest change in our world.
Thank you so much. I really, really love your answers and I really admire your spirit. So who is going to come next?
My name is Ilyas Moniz, and about your question, I want to answer. I think, in my opinion, the only way to become our country, it's going to be studying hard and always be the best. And if we are not the best, we try to be a member of the best in every part of works that we can do to our country.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And who is going to come next now?
Our next hero.
Hi, Musqa. I hope you'll be fine. I want to answer your question that if I or my people or people of my country will be improved, they should change myself. They should change herself or herself because if I educate a lot, if I get my master degree or another thing, but my mind not be fine. My mind not be improved. I can change my society. Because of that, I want to say something about my people in our society that they most of them all educated, but their mind is empty. Some of them, I don't want to say all of them, but their mind is empty because they have either the past idea, they have a past idea like this that a girl not should be educated or a girl would have a hijab or another thing. I want to repeat my answer. I should change myself to change my society. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your input. And yes, you are absolutely right that I would like to add on to your answer that there's a difference between, getting so many degrees and then getting an education. I know in my life, I know so many people who have masters, who have PhDs, but as you said, that their minds are empty, that they are not thinking broadly. And I personally believe that even though if you have just a school degree, you still can have a very amazing brain. And the one thing that education should actually teach you is how to be tolerant, is how to understand people around you, is how to understand different mindsets around you, and how to be, tolerant, and how to engage with people with having different mentality. So what I do in my part is that I thank God that I have education. I know how to talk. I know how to communicate with people of different communities. All I do is whenever I meet someone who has a different mindset from me, I always listen to them. I always hear out their thoughts, where they are coming from, and if they are from, if they are narrow minded, if they are not trying, if they are not even trying to open up to new ideas, I let them be at their side. Because as you said, that you cannot change people, especially people who are very stubborn, who don't want to, let go of their ways. So instead of, wasting your energies at somewhere where people are very stubborn, who are not trying to change, and also it's also in the Quran that change comes from within, change comes from your heart. If someone is stubborn, you cannot, uh, waste your energies there. You should not actually. And you should, put in your energies where you actually see hope, and you see that yes, here are some people who would listen to me, who are tolerant enough to have open minds and listen to new ideas and listen to new perspectives. So what I do on a personal level is that whenever I am gifting someone something, I always give them a book. No matter how what the age of that person is. Even if I am going out to buy something for a 6 months old baby, I still give them a book. There are books for every age group. So I think, and also gifting books and then talking about books. And I really hope and I really believe that what we are doing here right now, reading books and then talking about them, it is also a great source of education. You're not just reading them, you're also talking about them, and you're also changing not your own mindset, but also the mindset of people across borders. We are learning about you, you are learning about us, and we are realizing that, oh, we are all the same people. We all want the same things. We all want education. We all want peace and security in our country. We all want stability. And that's all a human wants. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. And I really, really love talking to all of you. And another ending note from my side is, you all might know that we also have a Facebook group. So all of you who haven't joined the Facebook group, please be a part of that Facebook group. We are having really good conversations on that group, and we're not just talking about books, we're also talking about our cultures, and or we're trying to learn about each other more. So any one of you who hasn't joined their book, please ask your coordinator. They might be already in the group, and be a part of that group. And you can also have, conversations with your friends in Pakistan there as well, since they are not going to join their our sessions live. So again, thank you so much, all of you, and have a nice day, have a great day, and keep on reading. And yes, good luck with your exams. Thank you. Hafiz, Allah Hafiz.
And one thing also, sorry about, could you send the name of that Facebook group to us?
I'll send you the link of the Facebook group in on WhatsApp. All right. All right. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.